Well, the Tshwane Council is set to elect a new mayor tomorrow after DA councillor Celia Brink, who held the position for 18 months, was removed through an ANC-sponsored no-confidence vote. That was 2 weeks ago. Despite the deadline to elect this new mayor ticking ever closer, just hours away now, parties appear to still be deadlocked on who to back for that position. Newzroom Afrika's Junior Khumalo is tracking the story. He joins us in studio. Never a dull moment in Gauteng politics, Junior. So it's an ANC-sponsored motion of no confidence that successfully removed Celia Brink as mayor. Does that tell us who the ANC will back in the vote tomorrow?
Definitely not. It seems like the ANC is themselves not sure who they want to back at this point. There's been a lot of internal fighting within the ANC. The region seems like it's ready, the Tshwane region seems like it's ready to back someone from the region to become the candidate for the ANC to become mayor. The province is also agreeing that the ANC should put forward its own candidate because Tshwane is the administrative capital of the country. So they believe that as the biggest party in South Africa, they deserve to have a mayor. But the ANC nationally seems to be disagreeing with the province and the region. They seem to be wanting that arrangement at a GNU level to cascade down to local government. So that's where the challenge has been. We spoke to someone from Action
You're saying
SA.
the ANC wants that?
Yes, the ANC wants that. They definitely want the GNU arrangement at a national level to basically cascade at a local level so that there's stability. Their worry is stability because there have been 6 mayors since 2016 within the Tshwane Metro. So they don't want that to repeat. So they believe that going into a partnership with the Democratic Alliance, with the Freedom Front Plus, will actually cause that stability. But the problem now is the DA wants Celia Brink as their candidate. They want him to be reinstated. But we had former Mayor Randall Williams coming out with so many allegations against Brink himself and against the Democratic Alliance. So the ANC now at a provincial level are using that, saying that we cannot vote for this individual who was basically at the helm of providing services in a racially based manner. So those were the allegations that were made. But we understand that there is currently a meeting right now that is happening.
Before you get to the meeting, I want to talk more about the GNU cascading down to provinces, because I dare say that anyone who voted in the last election might make the same assumption. People might say, oh, but you are in a government of national unity with the Democratic Alliance, the ANC is there, the Freedom Front Plus is there, etc., etc. Does that not translate to provinces? And the answer is no.
No, it doesn't. So even in the agreement between the parties that are signatories to that agreement in the government of national unity, it only speaks about national level and provincial level. It doesn't talk much about local government level. So that's where the problem is. So the ANC in the province, led by Lesufi, is saying that we need to be allowed to choose our own candidate. We should not be pressured by other parties such as your Democratic Alliance, in particular the Democratic Alliance's chairperson, federal chairperson Helen Zille, in who to vote for. So that's where there's a stumbling block when it comes to selecting a candidate. But we did speak to Helen Zille today, this morning, and she had a lot to say about Lesufi. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Obviously, there's huge tension between Lesufi and the National ANC. That is why he was summoned to Luthuli House on Monday to explain his comments and to explain what he'd said and done. So, you know, there's huge tension and a huge difference of opinion about how to proceed. And I do know that the National ANC wants to achieve stability in the metros. And I know that we were talking about how we did that. And I know Panyaza has refused to cooperate with that project.
So Junior, we've seen, you know, at every turning point, every sticking point, that suddenly the stability of the GNU has come into question, right?
Indeed.
I imagine it's going to happen like this again. This is now the road to local government elections in 2026.
Indeed. Well, we did hear the federal chairperson there speaking about the stability in most metros, because the talks right now between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance has been how do we use that agreement at a national government level to basically cause some stability in metros, in Joburg, in Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, as well as in the Eastern Cape as well. So that's what they were talking about. But now that the ANC party has removed Brink, the DA is saying that those talks are off the table. Even we saw the ANC now calling Panyaza Lesufi to Luthuli House. This was done by the secretary of the ANC, calling Lesufi to come to Luthuli House because of what he has described as the anti-GNU comments that were made by Panyaza Lesufi. So he wrote a letter to him. We understand that a meeting did happen yesterday where the top officials of the ANC basically addressed this matter. And Panyaza Lesufi presented his own case, saying that this agreement should not apply at a local government level.
There's the letter on the screen now.
Yes, that's the letter that was written by the ANC Secretary Fikile Mbalula, basically to Panyaza Lesufi, calling him to Luthuli House. We understand that another meeting between Luthuli House as well as the provincial executive of the ANC is currently underway in Sandton right now, where they are discussing this matter as well as the Tshwane matter. But later on, we do also expect the ANC to now engage parties that are represented in the Tshwane Council. We do expect that Action SA, the Freedom Front Plus, are also going to be in that meeting later on today.
It feels like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back insofar as the GNU is concerned, right? But let's focus on Tshwane for just a moment, Junior. In that letter from the Democratic Alliance, where it blames the ANC for instability in the metros and for service delivery failures, that's a question that can be put back to the DA insofar as service delivery in Tshwane is concerned, not only with Celia Brink at the helm, but several other DA mayors as well.
Indeed. That's the question that has been raised a lot with the DA, because they have been governing in Tshwane since 2016. Yes, there were a few periods where the COP mayor came into play, but mostly it's been the Democratic Alliance. And they have failed to replicate the success that they've had in the city of Cape Town to Tshwane, because the DA always says that wherever we govern better. But when it comes to Tshwane, we have not seen that. We did see the ANC basically, the ANC blaming the DA in Tshwane, saying that the water issues that have happened in Hammanskraal. We saw there was that cholera outbreak as well that happened under the DA's watch. So there have been those challenges that have happened a lot. But the ANC itself has not been playing fair when it comes to Tshwane, because we know that there was an arrangement with Action SA when it comes to voting for Tata Morero in Joburg. The ANC is said to have agreed with the Action SA that you will vote with us in Joburg and then we will vote with you in Tshwane. But let's take a listen to what one political analyst had to say about this.
An appetite in Gauteng to have control of municipalities, throughout the province, because they've just elected their own mayor in the city of Johannesburg. And my understanding is that when they struck the deal between themselves and Action SA, the rationale behind that was to get rid of the DA mayor, Silas Brink, and then replace him with a mayor of Action SA. But it turned out that the ANC had another plan.
I mean, we talk politics, right? And it reminds me of a discussion I had with Action SA on the show, where, as we know, Action SA backed the ANC's bid to have Celia Brink removed as Tshwane mayor. It was successful. He was removed some weeks ago. But just preceding that vote, Action SA at one stage also released a statement touting their confidence in Celia Brink and the leadership of the DA in the metro. People will be forgiven for being incredibly confused about, whether they vote with the ANC, the DA, or with Action SA, or whomever it might be, confused about where these parties stand.
Indeed, the Action SA at this point has been accused of flip-flopping. We know that Herman Mashaba has been adamant since the inception, since the formation basically of Action SA, that he will never work with the ANC. But he seems to say now that he has been backstabbed by the Democratic Alliance, because we know that leading up to the national and provincial election, there was that multi-party charter that was formed amongst the Democratic Alliance, Action SA, and other parties. Then when the elections happened, the DA lost ground, Action SA, most of the parties lost ground because of the emergence of parties such as Umkhonto weSizwe. Then the DA decided to join the government of national unity, basically backtracking on all of the agreement that were made at that multi-party charter. So Herman Mashaba seems to be saying saying that our hand was forced. At this point, we were always looking, behind our back because the DA was not to be trusted. Also, they were supporting the Democratic Alliance because we know that the deputy mayor in Tshwane is actually an Action SA member, Nasipi Moya. So that's the candidate that they want to put forward as the next mayor.
Yeah, and less than 24 hours to go until that vote takes place in the Tshwane Council. Junior, 24 hours is a long time.
A lot can happen.
A lot can happen. Junior Kumalo is our reporter tracking that story today and, of course, tomorrow as well.